Hey, what's up? I'm gonna be doing my deck profile for my Kiara deck that I built. I've been playtesting it a bit, so just a rundown real quick. The Kiara Oshi card, the regular Oshi skill, which is cost 2 holo power, where once per turn you can pay 2, choose a holo member in your archive, put it back in your hand, which is pretty nice for like kind of grabbing back a piece that you milled or something. The deck does draw a lot of cards, so it's really nice. You can see a lot of pieces. The SP Oshi skill, the once per game ability, is really good. When your members gets knocked out, you activate ability, pay 2, you lose 1 less life for your character that's getting knocked out, which is relevant if you're playing like a Buzz or something, where you would still lose 1 life, because Buzz normally you lose 2 life for those. This deck doesn't play any Buzz. It only runs Kiara and Louis, but yeah, once you're has to be a red character specifically. Also, when your red holo member gets knocked out, you pay 2. You don't lose a life. You lose 1 less life, and then the whole evolution line, basically, if we're talking like Pokemon terms, you pick up all the cards that would get knocked out, put them all back in your hand, which is nice because then you can activate more bloom abilities. You get another attacker. Let's say you have like Kiara first on your bench and your Kiara second gets knocked out. Grab it, goes back to your turn. Evolve the Kiara first that you have on your bench, push it up, get another attacker. So it's pretty nice for those situations. Deck's pretty simple, straightforward. Just 20 red cheers. So yeah, the deck is basically just all Kiara and Louis. So we run 4 of this debut Kiara with a collab ability. It's really nice. The collab ability only activates if your center holomem is bird trait, which is fine in this deck since both Kiara and Louis are bird trait. So the collab ability is when it gets put in the collab zone, you pitch a card from your hand and then search your deck for a mascot character. The big one that you're searching is the Kotsuri, which attaches to the Kiara. But I also run 2 of the Louis mascots as well, so I'll talk about these later. So you can just search your deck for one of these 2 options. We're also running 3 of just the kind of just basic vanilla Kiara, just so you have enough targets for your Kiaras when you start evolving. After that, we've got 4 of this Bloom Kiara, which is really nice. So yeah, this first Kiara, it's just when you bloom. So you could even bloom a first on top of a first, and you would still get the bloom ability, which is pretty cool. But basically, once you bloom, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You can add 1 Hololive character or holomem from the top 3. Add one that you find there to your hand, and the other 2 cards go to the archive, which is cool for filling graveyard for the second Kiara, which I'll talk about in a minute. Okay, and then the first Kiara that I'm running is 2 copies of this other Kiara. Really nice art. It's a rare from the booster set. That's just nice. It's just an extra copies of first, so you can start blooming your debut Kiaras. Once we get to the Kotsuris, it's actually going to be relevant. But also, it's a better attacker than this Kiara, which only does 40 damage. This Kiara, if you have 2 red, you can deal 40, and then you can archive a character, a holomem, underneath this first Kiara, and then you can deal an extra 40 damage to your opponent's collab character. So you can go 40 center, 40 collab, or you can just go straight up 80 to collab, which is a pretty good amount of damage. Alright, and then finally we've got 4 copies of the second Kiara, which is really nice. It's just your finisher basically for the game, because you're going to be digging through the deck so much. You're probably going to deck out pretty easily, But luckily, this second Kiara does 80, plus it does an additional 10 more damage for each holo member in your archive. And then after you use the attack, you shuffle 6 holo members from your archive back into your deck. So it helps you not deck out. I've seen the Kiara do up to like 240 damage. It can swing for big numbers, which is nice. It's basically the whole game plan of the deck. Just get some Kiaras down, start swinging for big numbers, take some knockouts. Alright, besides the Kiara line, we've got Louis. Running 3 copies of this debut Louis. So it says when you collab, you just get to deal 10 damage to your opponent's collab character. It's just something to do. And then you're just running 2 copies of the vanilla, which does 30 damage for a colorless. This has 100 HP, which is nice. This one can you can go debut, snipe like 10 to your opponent's collab, evolve into a second, and then, you know, do other stuff. So I'm just trying it out, running a mixture of the two. And then running 4 copies of this first Louis that says when you bloom from a debut, you can discard a card from your hand and draw 2. Kind of helps you dig through the deck, get more of your pieces, put stuff in your archive you can grab back later with your Kiara's ability. You know, pay 2, grab a holomem from your archive. It's just nice, more deck speed, start digging through your deck more. And then last, I'm just running 2 copies of the second Louis. Kind of just there if you have to swing with it. You're mostly just wanting to swing with the Kiara, but as a backup attacker, it's fine. When it blooms, you get to salvage up to 2 Holo X from your archive, which is just the Louis, or you can bloom, grab like 2 Louis, and then the ability, the attack arts for 3 does 60 damage, and then you can pitch 1 to 5 cards from your hand, and then for each card that you pitch, you deal an extra 20 damage. So, you know, hit for 60, you can pitch up to 5. If you pitch all 5, then, you know, you hit for 160. It's decent. It's not the best. Just an extra attacker. The Louis is mostly just in the deck for the first, just to start digging more. You know, better deck speed, make the deck more consistent to get your Kiaras into play. So that's all the holomems I play. Oh, one more holomem actually. I lied. I'm running 1 copy of this Noel that says when it collabs, you can switch your center with one of your back row holomems that isn't rested. I was running a switch originally. I was running 2 switches. I kind of was going to cut it down to 1 switch, and then I was like, well, if I'm only going to run 1 switch, I might just try out this flare instead. I'm still debating on whether I'm keeping it or not. I might replace it with something else, but my idea is, since the Kiara can grab back holomems from the archive, if I, you know, somehow mill this on accident with like the Kiara bloom, you know, check top 3, add something, I can always just pay 2, grab the flare back from the archive, put it down, collab, and then I get a switch. It's basically a copy of Switch, but you know, you kind of sacrifice your collab for the turn. So those are all the holomems. Other than that, you're just running consistency pieces. Got 4 copies of a standard PC. Really nice. You just search your deck for a debut, put it in play. Helps you get out all your stuff to start evolving faster. Okay, and then after the standard PC, we're running 4 copies of the Nodoka. Play it, draw 3 cards, you know, turn through the deck some more. And then also 4 copies of Mane-chan, which is just shuffle your hand back in your deck as long as you have 1 other card in your hand. You just shuffle back, draw an extra 5, get a new hand, refill your hand, start going again. Okay, then after Mane-chan, last limited card that we're running is 3 copies of Seer the Enemy. Play it, switch your opponent's center with one of their back holomems, try to get some knockouts. I think it's really important. Those are all the limited cards. I'm playing 4 copies of the Kotori. This card's really good. Whatever holomem this card is attached to takes 10 less damage if it's in the center or the collab position. Just gets you a little more bulk. They can't ping you for as much early game. The main reason we're playing it is because if it's attached to Kiara specifically, when you bloom and you go up a level, you get to draw a card. You know, play this on a debut, evolve into a first, draw a card, you know, evolve that first into a second, get to draw another card. So it's really good for churning through your deck. Alright, and then finally, last 2 cards that I'm playing in the deck is just 2 copies of this Ganmo, which just says arts of the holomem this card's attached to does 10 more damage. But also, if it's attached to Louis specifically, when Louis attacks, as long as it's in the center position, you get to draw a card. It's kind of like extra targets for the collab Kiara, since it lets you search out any mascot. So mostly you're grabbing Kotori's, but maybe Kotori goes missing somehow. You grab one of these instead. So it's a backup target. And that's pretty much it for the list. I'm hoping to do some gameplay videos soon, hopefully. I've got this Kiara deck, which I've been enjoying, and then I think I'm going to be trying to build a Suisei deck to play against. So looking forward to that. Still messing around with the Suisei deck. Probably do a deck profile later, maybe after some gameplay videos. So appreciate you guys for watching. Thanks.